Alright, welcome back to another Koenji-shan Reviews. And this video is a compilation of flip-throughs of Hama Shinji. Of course, Hama Shinji is famous for his horror titles, which he released from the 50s through about the 90s, probably well over 100 titles. So let's take a look at some of his wild stuff, and I hope you enjoy it. This is Yoru Aruku Shitai, Night Walking Dead from 1987. It involves a lot of vehicular homicide. There's 3 stories. Here, a girl appears on the road. She's struck by this well-to-do couple. They decide to run away, hit and run. Then she appears again, and they panic, spin out of control, and they both die. After that, she does the same thing to this Angels Bosozoku biker gang member. He strikes her, but unlike the previous couple, he decides to help her, which, of course, later on in the story comes back to help him. Here's another story from the same book, Yoru Aruku Shitai, and in this one, a brother is struck down by a construction truck and murdered because the construction company wants their family property. Moving on, here's Gakure Yoru Akuryo ga. This one also has a vehicular homicide in it. Again, an apparition appears in the middle of the road when they're on vacation. I believe it's down by Kawasaki, just south of Tokyo. And the family car spins out of control, putting the daughter in the hospital. This is still Gakko de Yoru Akuryo ga. And again, Hama Shinji is right here. And rather than showing the vehicular homicide scene, we see an introduction. This is the ghost that walks to school at night. Of course, there's a noise in the hallway, and the girl sees a ghost, an apparition, a ghost in the halls. Here we see, again, the ghost appears at the school, but this time in the form of only severed hands. Fun stuff. Severed hands which are coming to get her. I just kicked those hands off, man. But I'm also not a shogakusei. This is Chikyu Shoujo Karen, or the vampire blood-sucking Karen. There's Hama Shinji himself, and this is a vampire story from 1975. There's a family, there's a Bela Lugosi-looking vampire mofo. He pays a visit to the house, calls on the house to get out of the rain during the middle of a thunderstorm after being resurrected from the dead. Of course, they invite him in, which you never do to vampires. You don't invite them in your house. And he goes on to infect a member of the family, which leads to chaos in the Karen household. Of course, it has to be a blonde Karen. Here we have Shirohebi Shoujo no Noroi, or The Curse of the White Snake Girl from 1977. White Snake Girl. And the family goes on a retreat to a cursed island, cursed by snakes, of course. There's a flashback to the beginning of the curse, a child born as a snake. And per usual in many of Hama's works, we have pet death, in this case, decapitation of cute puppy. And as we saw before in one of the other ones, there are severed limbs. And I think poor nurse has to clean up that crap by herself. And that is Curse of the White Snake Girl. In this one, instead of snakes, we have cats in Noroi no Neko no Shima, or The Curse of Cat Island. This is from 1980. There's a cat girl. And they go on a trip to an island cursed by cats. Actually, the father is a writer, and he goes to this island for research purposes, but he brings home the curse with him. Here's a flashback to a time on the island when everyone was eating cats on the island because there was a famine, and everyone who ate a cat died. Then later, back in Tokyo, we have more pet death. Yummy. The Curse of Cat Island. This is Hyakunen Shoujo, or the 100-year-old girl, from 1982. Cute little puppy, cute little girl, and I don't know what that is. It's wild. Basically, we have this little girl here. She's new to town, doesn't have any friends, and she's befriended by this girl who turns out to have a dark secret. Again, pet death, murdered dog. And sometimes before you murder a pet, you gotta suck its blood. Ugh. The story goes on from here, but that's the 100-year-old girl. This is Yoru Kyoshitsu ni Ukabu Kubi, or the floating head in the classroom at night. There's the floating head. There's some floating hands. This floating hands is a theme that he likes to go with as well. If you can't cut them off, then let them float around, I guess. And here we go with this girl murdering another girl. There's the floating head, which is always fun. And there's some scary severed hands flying around. Palm to the face. Man, Hama Shinji is always good fun. Finally, we have Kyofu Gakuen, or the School of Horrors, from 1988. And this is a girl who goes off to a boarding school, which also, of course, has dark secrets. Her father didn't want her to go, but too bad for her father. He dies in a horrible airplane crash, where actually everyone died. Again, different kind of vehicular homicide or death, but there it is again. And at the school, there is something sinister going on. This girl's being levitated around the room until she is thrown to her death against a wall. Good fun. School of Horrors. Alright, thanks to everyone who subs, likes, and shares. You are all the best. I have some big videos coming up soon, so I thought I'd at least get something out there for you, so I threw this compilation together. Join us in our Discord. There's a link here on the YouTube page, or hit me up, Koenji-shan Reviews, on Instagram. And until next time, everyone, matane.